What is going on, everybody? My name is Smitty. You're watching the Fantasy Football Show. We're taking phone calls. We're doing the huge here on a, Thursday? What is it, Thursday? Thursday. I don't know what day it is. I never know what day it is. Thursday night. And, so file on in. We've got the new game everybody's excited about. We played it earlier. Who do we like better in 2023? The boom or bust game. Is it a bust? A boom? We're doing it live. The Fantasy Football Show begins right now, broski.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
What is up, good people? We broke this news earlier today. Lamar Jackson suffered what is now believed to have been a grade 2/almost 3, borderline 3 PCL tear, which on the back of the knee you can see it's the PCL and the ACL go down the middle, but that PCL is responsible for holding the knee from coming this direction and slipping off almost like a shelf. Going forward and falling off. And the ACL responsible for keeping that knee from going and falling back behind. The stability front in that way. And then you've got the MCL, you got the LCL, and the stability of his knee is in jeopardy because of that PCL having been torn and stretched. And so we talked about the quarterback situations. Where are these guys going? I put this up on screen. And I think that there's a lot of reason to believe that these three guys, whatever order or whichever team you think they might go to, that's up to you. That's preference. It's me kind of spitballing here. But these three signal callers are likely to be on the move in 2023, or be potentially either retiring, so on the move to the Pine or to the retirement home, to the golf course, to the press booth, commentating. They're on the move regardless. So whether it's retirement, whatever, Aaron Rodgers looks like he's saying goodbye. Tom Brady is either retiring or moving on. He gets to go wherever he wants if he decides he does want to, or go to the booth where he's got a big contract awaiting him. Or maybe he makes one more year pit stop to play a little foosball for one more season to try and prove to everybody that the new Tom Brady, with his new life and probably love for football, because it is now his, obviously his kids, I'm sure, are very, very, very important to him. He's probably a great dad, but having the disruption in his life has probably made him lean on football and look to his football family a little differently. And I would tend to say that Tom Brady's probably a little more emotional about leaving than he was when he was, not going through such turmoil in his life. But we'll see. That's me totally guesswork. I've no inside source on that at all. Lamar Jackson, I do believe, will be franchise tagged and traded. We'll talk about that later. Let's open the phone lines up. First in the building today was Blind Larry, Peanut Butter and Waivers, Travis Rowe, G Money, Zeno, Golf for Life, DJ, Ron Navy, and Travis Rowe. Appreciate you all being here. Corey, all of you, Jarrett, everybody, thanks for filing in. The phone lines are now open. Dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
We are here to discuss. Now, this is what I would love to know. If you call in, you got to tell me where you think Lamar, A-Rod, and Brady are in 2023. That's the first thing you got to answer if you call into my show. You got to answer my questions. You're calling my show, and so I'm going to make you answer. We'll put other. You decide. I think it's such an interesting topic, and I love the fact that everybody's got an opinion, and a strong one at that. Like, you gotta be crazy! You can't believe you think anybody's going to Las Vegas. Like, it's so funny that people get so bent out of shape on a projected landing spot for a player. They just, especially if you're doing an NFL mock draft, you never get more hate than when you do an NFL mock draft. You get so much hate email. People are like, I can't, you guys are such a moron. I can't believe you think our team would take a left tackle. They would take a right tackle, you idiot. It's crazy how many people get so bent out of shape. The prediction game is a fun one. It definitely is fun to hear a lot of the differing opinions. They come flooding in during prediction season, but it's amazing. It's fun. It's why I love what I do. And it is interesting. Lamar to the Jets, that's certainly possible. I think Lamar to any one of these three teams, the Raiders, the Jets, or the Miami Dolphins, that make a lot of sense to me. Lamar to Seattle, says Shopkey. That's an interesting one. Maybe. I mean, you never know. You never know. I don't want that for Kenneth Walker. I also don't want Lamar to the Jets for the sake of Breece Hall. I don't want a running quarterback that's going to vulture rushing touchdowns to affect two of the top 5 running backs in my mind in Kenneth Walker and Breece Hall. Those are 2 top 5 future running backs in the NFL. I don't want their workloads to be divided up and divvied up with a running quarterback like Lamar. But I don't make the rules. I don't make the decisions on who goes where. All I can do is cross my fingers and hope that Lamar doesn't land in a place that's going to kill the running back value. Miami would be perfect. Las Vegas could be perfect because Josh Jacobs will probably be elsewhere. Blind Larry says, Carr to the Jets, says Ron Navy. I think Carr is destined for the Colts. They always get the recycled quarterbacks. Hey, he might not be broken. Let's try him out. So the Colts, I know, are going to run Derek Carr out there as a starter. I know it. Blind Larry says Gronk and Brady. Yo, the Texans, and they stack Bijan like Pollard and Zeke. I don't think Brady's going to Houston. I don't really see him in Houston, but you never know. You never know. But I can't see that happening. I can't see it happening, but you never know. Depends on if Sean Payton ends up going there to coach or something weird. Something weird happens there. Sean Payton is linked to the Cardinals for a dozen different reasons, partly due to his apparent love for Kyler Murray. And or he likes him a lot, and he sees a lot in him, but also because there's no GM in place right now. So Sean Payton could set up shop from square one in Arizona. So a lot of people are linking Sean Payton to the Cardinals. He's also been said to be doing his homework really hardcore on the Cardinals to make sure it is a spot that he might want to go to before he puts it in his final category of teams that he's going to go shopping himself to. But because there's no GM, it'll be interesting if the Cardinals fill that GM role or wait for the head coach. I think they wait. If they wait, it's smart because then they can say, Sean Payton, you get to do whatever you want. Remember, Kyle Shanahan hired John Lynch, essentially. He hired his own boss. He said, who do you want to hire, Kyle Shanahan? I want John Lynch. And that's kind of the way I think Sean Payton's going to deal with this. Hackett, the new Cardinals coach, says Ron Navy. And hopefully we get Hackett as head coach. We can get Matt Nagy as GM and make it a party, Ron, which would be fantastic. Maybe we'll bring in Trubisky as our starting quarterback. Hope all is well. Thank you, John. Appreciate you. Whoever Peyton goes to, does that team need to give up a draft pick? Yeah, the Saints are looking for a first-round pick for Sean Payton. They'll probably get it. I don't think they get a top 10 pick like in this draft. I think maybe they give up a team gives up a future first-round pick. It's very hard to imagine. Like the Cardinals have the 3 pick. I don't think they can give the 3 pick up for Sean Payton. You never know. But I personally would not do that. I'd rather have Bijan Robinson by 100,000 miles and find a really good coach. Bring DeMeco Ryans in to be the head coach and then draft Bijan Robinson. That's a much more attractive situation than to trade away your number 3 overall pick to get just your coach and then have not as much to work with. But anyone thinking Rodgers to Tampa Bay, it's definitely been kicked around a lot, Jared. There have been a lot of people last year said that they could see a swap happening. Aaron Rodgers go and continue on what Tom Brady has started. But I don't know. It's possible. It's possible. It's definitely a potential landing spot, I suppose. But I don't think it's in the top three. I think the three you see right here, the Raiders, the Miami Dolphins, the New York Jets, maybe another team or two that I'm not thinking of that could be a potential suitor for Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers or Lamar Jackson. But these are the top three candidates, I think, to acquire one of the three quarterbacks on screen. And I would probably rank Lamar number one based on what I think teams want. Like he will be the one that's sought after the most, I believe, assuming his PCL recoveries, they don't end up saying he does need to have surgery. Actually, it didn't heal. It's a borderline grade 3, which means he's almost in a position of needing surgery. So, I don't know. Brady, A-Rod, Lamar, one of those quarterbacks will be in Las Vegas. I really believe that. Devontae Adams is going to command that kind of interest by one of those three, especially Tom Brady. I mean, Tom Brady to Devontae Adams, can you imagine? I could see Tom Brady in a Raiders helmet. I could see Tom Brady in a Jets helmet, and I could see Tom Brady in a Miami Dolphins helmet. I could picture all three of them. I can't picture a Texans helmet on A-Rod, Brady, or Lamar. But I think the Texans are not going to be pulling a quarterback of that stature, but that's just me. Part of it, you need to have the wide receivers. I think that's the key component here. Las Vegas has Devontae Adams, top five wide receiver, no question about it. No one could say a word about that. Top five. Miami Dolphins have arguably the two best wide receivers in the National Football League on one team, in Tyreek Hill and Waddle, and the two fastest. It's a track team. What one of these three quarterbacks would say no to going to an offensive juggernaut like the Miami Dolphins, with a coach that's a player's coach, with a coach that's creative, with a coach that has an offense that's just electric? It turned Tua into a player we were once making fun of and saying this guy's a top 5 quarterback. And Tua wasn't a top 5 quarterback. Tua very much was getting figured out toward the end there. Even if Tua does return to full health, which I don't think he will, I think Tua might be blind to his situation right now and not understand that he's literally going to get another concussion. And I think maybe Tua is being smart about it currently, because I don't hear any pushback for him wanting to play yet. But if he does say, you know what, I'm going out there, I don't have symptoms right now, whatever, it's going to take one little love tap on the back of the head with the ground. Not even a helmet to helmet. Helmet to helmet are certainly going to cause concussions for Tua going forward. But Tua has one little love tap on the ground with the back of his helmet, and he's going to be concussed. And I think at that point, it's going to take potentially, maybe not, maybe he's smart enough, maybe he has the right people around him, but it's going to take one more concussion, a really quick concussion, a really soon to happen concussion for Tua to realize, you know what, it is not worth it. I don't think I can physically play. It's not my fault, but I have to accept it, and Tua's going to accept it. Miami Mike is going to aggressively look for a passer. He's going to be looking for one of these three quarterbacks. I firmly believe that one of these three will be passing footballs in Miami in 2023, and I think the same things can be said about the Jets. I'm sorry, the Raiders. I don't know if the Jets are aggressive enough to bring in one of these three signal callers. I don't know if the Jets are going to spend the draft capital on it or the contract, the wiggle room to get an Aaron Rodgers. I don't even know how that worked for the Jets cap-wise. For Brady, I think it's an expensive contract. For Lamar, it's going to be the biggest contract of all time, because he wants $230 guaranteed Deshaun Watson money. So I don't know how likely it is the Jets to get one of these, but I think the Miami Dolphins and Las Vegas Raiders are the two most likely candidates of these three teams, but all three are very likely to get one of these three quarterbacks. All right, so you guys wanted to play this game again. We're playing it again right now. Toss out names, and I will tell you whether the player is boom or bust, and we'll make that what the show's about tonight for the remainder of the show. So hit me with a name.
Will he remain on fire, or will he be on the decline?
Throw him at me. Let's go. Who do you want to talk about? Let's see who player number one's going to be. Man, my back feels a lot better. My back was so bad, but this chair is helpful. This chair is very helpful. Austin Eckler is a good one. Just throw the name out, not a big old thing. Austin Eckler, 28 years old. We saw Derrick Henry do what I said no running back can do. And Derrick Henry did it. And I admit I was wrong on Derrick Henry for 2022. But I did say I could be a year early. I'm willing to take that chance because there are other players that I'm not worried about drafting right around where Derrick Henry was drafted. So it's not like it was a mistake because the player I took was just as good. You know, I may have taken JJ. I may have taken a player that I loved just as much instead of Derrick Henry. But ultimately, I was wrong on when Derrick Henry would decline. But I do believe that Austin Eckler is in the same situation that Derrick Henry was, and I don't think he comes out on top. I think Austin Eckler, at the age of 28, being a smaller type running back that's taken a lot of abuse, that was a scat back in some ways early on in his career, converted to a workhorse between the tackle running back, and even though he stayed relatively healthy for most of the season last year, Austin Eckler, I don't see escaping father time. And at the age of 28, I think he does not have a healthy season. So Austin Eckler, unfortunately, although you could draft him early, and I'm fine with that, just make sure you trade him by double-digit weeks. Unlike, and if I'm wrong on that, at least you get a good, 7, 8, 9 weeks out of him. But just make sure you trade him by double-digit weeks, or I will be here telling you that I told you so. But in general, all in all, at the end of the year, I do believe that Eckler will falter to injury.
On the decline. Will he remain on fire, or will he be on the decline?
Alvin Kamara is not only facing a potential suspension upwards of 6 to 8 games in 2023 because he will not be able to push this case any further. And regardless of how the human population reacted to the leaked footage, which was head scratching to me that no one was talking about it. Nobody cared. And I couldn't believe it. Nobody cared. The footage leaked partly because it was bad and blurry footage. The original footage is not blurry. What was blurry is some guy named Fred had his phone this far away from a computer screen, and he recorded the computer screen, and you got everybody that doesn't know what they're talking about saying, this will get thrown out in court. The footage is too blurry. It'll get thrown out in court. Einstein, that's not the footage they have in court. The footage they have in court is very clear. This is Fred's version that leaked out because Fred was standing very close to the computer, but far enough that it was blurry, and he had an iPhone 2. So there's no way Kamara avoids a 6 to 8 game suspension. He was successful in pushing it forward because public opinion didn't care about the leak footage, which was, again, head scratching to me, but it is what it is. Kamara faces a suspension. He also looks to be on the decline. He fell out of favor with the New Orleans Saints, and his workload is such that he's in line for a potential bust season and injury-prone year anyway. So I'm staying away from Alvin Kamara anywhere near the top 15 overall.
On the decline.
This is a good one.
Will he remain on fire, or will he be on the decline?
Nick Chubb has taken a beating. Nick Chubb has one of the most gruesome knee injuries in college football history. Nick Chubb's knee, this is how your knee bends right here. Nick Chubb's knee went to an L degree, to a right angle the other direction in college. It was literally an L-shaped photograph of him. If you Google it, it's really gruesome. And I'm not saying he didn't recover from that. He's been having a phenomenal career. But what that does is when you have significant knee trauma like that, and there's no bigger trauma I can find literally on the internet or any photos of knee injuries whatsoever that is more traumatic than what Nick Chubb went through. And there's some people say that he didn't tear his ACL. He tore everything but his ACL. But I don't see how his ACL, you can see the ACL in the back of this model here. It's in the middle of the knee. I don't see how the ACL remained intact. I don't see it. I think that we just didn't have enough social media presence. There was no social media really at that point where all the information just comes spilling out about a player's injury and health. It just kind of got glossed over. He had a bad knee injury. No one really looked into detail. Nobody talked about ACLs and too much or MCL, PCL, meniscus tears. What's the exact extent of this injury? No one talked like that. No one was reporting like that back when Nick Chubb injured his knee. You watch SportsCenter, you watch NFL Live, and if you got to hear a little information about the injury, you got to hear it. If not, there's nowhere to find it. It wasn't out there. You can't even find records on what he exactly tore. And so my whole thing is that when you suffer a knee trauma, like Nick Chubb suffered, arthritis, early breakdown of your knee is very, very likely. And what has Nick Chubb suffered with the last couple of years, handful of years, really his whole NFL career? Multiple rotating knee injuries. This knee, that knee, this knee, that knee. And if you think that I'm going to bank on an older running back that showed little signs of decline on a team that really doesn't use him properly or consistently, if you think I'm banking on and a guy that doesn't catch passes at that, you got me wrong, because this would be a situation that, yeah, I could see it working out. The percentages of it working out, they're not great. They're there. Let's call it a 20% chance he has one more electric top 10 running back season. There is that shot, and somebody might take a gamble and hit it, and I'm going to say, good, congrats, man. I went with somebody else, and I'm happy with it. I avoided catastrophe potentially, and you were right. I was wrong. I could care less. I'm going to avoid the risk because the risk is too high. Nick Chubb, changing of the guard, new running backs coming in, old running backs coming out.
On the decline.
This one's good. This one's really good. Yeah, arthritis, all that stuff is on the way for Nick Chubb. Early onset of arthritis. Remember Todd Gurley and all his knee issues and how that came on out of nowhere. It's like he looked like he was running in mud all of a sudden. That's going to be Nick Chubb very, very soon. That'll be Derrick Henry at some point. If it's not this year, I will be wrong again, but I highly doubt that Derrick Henry can get through his 29 age year at his size, but we will see. If anybody could do it, it probably could be Derrick Henry, but at the same time, he's built bigger and stronger and thicker and heavier than other running backs, so losing a step will happen very fast for him when he loses a step. Mark Andrews.
Will he remain on fire, or will he be on the decline?
This one doesn't really fit because Andrews wasn't on fire, but like in general, you could say his career was on fire. He was an electric player. His beginning of 2022 was fire. Will he go the route of bust, the route he's been going lately, or will he bounce back? Much will depend on the quarterback situation. I'll say this. Given that it looks like Lamar Jackson is done in Baltimore, I don't see how he can bounce back unless Baltimore brings in a Tom Brady, brings in a signal caller like that. I'm going to go ahead and say, because we haven't seen him return to form, because we don't know what's going on physically with him, is he dropping off? Is there some reason why he's not looking to form even when he's supposed to be back to pretty much close to full strength right now? And who's the quarterback? What's the trajectory of the team going forward? For now, if I have to choose one or the other, I can't choose Boom. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm not saying the percentages aren't decent, but
on the decline.
I'm going to say it's too tough to expect a lot out of Mark Andrews. And, maybe that'll be good. Maybe that'll be good. Jarrett says, I guess 100K subs for Smitty by next season, I bet.
Remains on fire.
That's correct. That's hopefully correct, Jarrett. I appreciate you dropping that. Kittle, Purdy has been really good, says Shopkey. It has. A.J. Dillon. A.J. Dillon's been turning it up, so we can kind of think of, remains on fire being that does he continue his upward climb, and does he get utilized in a way in 2023? Like, does Aaron Jones go elsewhere? And I think a lot of that depends on Aaron Rodgers. Why? Because I believe if they cut Aaron Jones, I could be wrong. Someone has different information on this, let me know. But I believe if they cut Aaron Jones, they save upwards of like $13 million. $10 to $13 million. And if Aaron Rodgers gets traded, I think they most certainly move on from the Aaron Jones experiment and they thrust Dillon into the lineup. So I think that if I had to pick, I would say A.J. Dillon's probably slightly more likely to be starting in Green Bay over Aaron Jones next year. But you never know. They could want to keep Aaron Jones for Jordan Love's development. Who knows? But there's a lot of money to be saved to start building around Love if they can cut Aaron Jones. Oh, sorry.
On the decline.
Aaron Jones on the decline. Appreciate you. Let's see here. Next question. Got so many different factors and moving parts here. We did Cooper Kupp on the last show. I want to say, I want to say boom. I so badly want to say boom. But we saw this guy kind of fizzle out at the end. We saw them not use him the same at the end of the year. He fumbled the ball in a costly scenario. He started that lateral situation and the Raiders ended up winning the game because of it. Just this constant downward spiral for him. And part of me worries, okay, how many rookies is Bill going to draft this coming season? As much as I love Ramondre, as much as I think he could end up continuing to explode, I think if I had to choose one way or the other, I'm not using high draft capital on him. I'm going to predict a bust if his draft capital is extremely high. If I had to pick, I'm more in the middle. I more so want him at the right price and don't overdraft him, but I'm forced to give an answer. And I can't in good conscience say I feel really good about what's going on currently. So if I had to pick.
On the decline.
Yeah, if I had to pick, I hate saying that. And again, if I could get him at the right price, I would take him. This one's good. Jonathan Taylor, that's a really good one. You know what sucks? Is we're going to have to get a vibe that this team is turning things around. Like a lot. Because if they walk in with a Derek Carr, which is so Indianapolis, so like a Wentz, then a Matt Ryan, then a Derek Carr, Jimmy G, if they go that route, how is JT going to get the consistency? And the way they used him, I was impressed at first, and then I wasn't. It was too simplified. Like, they looked great their first game out. We all loved Saturday. We all pumped them up. I mean, I was a victim of that too. I was real excited about Saturday. Jeff Saturdays. Every Sunday, Saturday. Saturday's better than Sunday. We were amped up, and I admit I got a little hyped up about it, but I have fun with that stuff, so we had a good time. But I guess what I would say is that if this is contingent on the quarterback, I need to have a hold button, like to be determined, no answer given. Because I don't think some of these I don't want to force an answer because I don't want people to get the wrong impression about the player. So as much as I want to force an answer, I need a neutral button. I need one. Like to be determined, ask later. Turn the 8 magic 8 ball over one more time, please. I think I'm going to leave this one undone. Just because if they bring in a big-time passer, which I don't think it's an attractive enough location to do so, that I'm going to lean more worried than I am boom. If they bring in a big name passer, which I don't think they're going to do, I don't think they're getting a Lamar, I don't think they're getting a Brady or an A-Rod or anything of the sort, then I don't know. I like him at the right value, but I don't know that I expect top 5 running back value for him again. So I'm not gonna press the button on this one just because I don't want to give the wrong impression that I love him or hate him. We did Najee last show. Kyle Pitts is a really good one. His cost of entry is going to be good. Kyle Pitts' cost of entry is going to be good. I have a real strong feeling that people are going to be there will be a couple people, I think people that come from a community like ours that might be like, let's go. Let's try it out. Let's get him. Let's get him on board. Let's fire him up. And I'm feeling a little bit like that at the right cost of entry. So I think given the pushback overall that will likely face Kyle Pitts drafting, we'll be looking at Kyle Pitts being quite a decent value. And at the cost of entry that I predict to be well outside of the 3rd round, it's going to be probably 5th round. 5th or 6th round, maybe 6th or 7th round. I mean, throw out a round that you'd be willing to draft Kyle Pitts on. If that round is nothing higher than round 6, then we're in the money. Because I think round 6, 7, I'd take a leap, no question about it. Round 3, 4, I don't think I'd want to touch him there. I think at 5, I start talking about it, but maybe still want to wait. But like if Kyle Pitts fell to round 6, 7, and he did so bad last year, so bad. And I don't know, maybe they draft a quarterback, but maybe people are like, it's still a young quarterback. He's got to develop. I think if you could get him in round 6, 7, I think there's a lot of upside. And I do believe that's probably where his ADP will linger. I would say 6, 7. I don't think he goes in round 4 or 5. Maybe at the end of August or something, if there's some hype starts to build, he looks really good. I would say we're going to go ahead and say at the cost of entry, probably 6, 7 round pick.
Remains on fire.
I'll get on board that. And remains on fire, not the best way to approach it. I'll get some other neutral ways to grade this. Oh, this one's good. This one's really good. McKinnon's old. I hate to tell you. I hate to break it to you. McKinnon is turning. God, he's old. For an RB, he's so old. He'll be turning 31. Look, let me explain something. Number one, he catches the ball, so it's a little different. But the new age of decline for a running back is 27. And then if he turns 28 before the season starts, which Austin Eckler turns before the season starts, Derrick Henry did last year, and he defied this thinking, and I admit that. But it's rare. It's an anomaly. It's an anomaly. McKinnon's 31. That's the old age of decline. Like 30, you turn 30, age of death. Maybe you turn 30 years old, you walk into a season at the age of 30, you could maybe muster up one more year. That was what 28 is, or 27 is right now. 30's the new 27 is the new 30. 31 is the new 28. And this guy's he's 31. He'll be 31. But he is a receiver more than he is a running back. But receivers fall off. That's their last year is about 31. If you're 32 years old and you enter the season at 32, the odds are so extremely stacked against you to be an elite wide receiver. So this guy's breaching that category for a wide receiver. And he's been very injury prone. He's been kind of a journeyman. He was in Minnesota for 4 years. He went to San Francisco. He was in KC last year. He's in KC this year. He's a journeyman. It's really, really tough to bank on him. And if you keep in mind the Chiefs, he looks so good. And I admit, I'm so excited about McKinnon for the playoffs and fantasy football playoffs. Underdog, promo code Smitty. Underdog, promo code Smitty. The link is in the live chat. Let me drop the link, actually. I didn't drop it yet. play Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty, and I really, really, really like McKinnon's value in playoff fantasy football. I've been drafting him everywhere in Underdog Fantasy. Let me drop this link real quick. Okay, here it is. I'm pinning it right now. Promo code Smitty. There we go. Okay. Back to what were we doing? Where were we? McKinnon. At 31 years of age, even at wide receiver, keep in mind that he's running back, but he plays a lot of wide receiver. He catches a lot of passes, but from like a running back role. So he really is a running back. And keeping in mind that the KC Chiefs do what they do in the playoffs, you know, like think about Damian Williams. He always looked good at the playoffs, and then week one would come, we'd believe Damian Williams was going to do it, and Damian Williams would crap the bed. I'm going to go ahead and say, I so badly want one more year out of McKinnon.
On the decline.
I reserve the right to revisit this topic, but for now. We did Algier on the last show. I think we did Hopkins on the last show as well. Chris Olave. Come on, you know what I'm going to say on this one, G Money. I mean, he's on the, like, what do I got to do?
The Moon Men, dropping loads in outer space.
I mean, I think you just want me to say it. Give me Olave.
Remains on fire.
Let's see. Where was that? Yeah, that was Olave. G Money. Let's go with two more. Then we'll open the phone lines next. Amari Cooper says Vamp. I mean, he's not on fire at all, so we're gonna go ahead and rapidly rapidly go through that one. Thank you, Vamp, for the quick one, the easy one. Let's do another one. Mixon. I mean, he's not even really on fire either, but I need to have a couple different, you know, categories.
Will he remain on fire?
If you will.
Or will he be on the decline?
So I'm going to say from the context of will he remain the top back, very productive running back 2, I'm going to say the mileage added up already, and we've seen kind of that decline. So they need to bring new blood in. I think they draft an RB. I think Mixon's best days are done.
On the decline.
And then the final one, appreciate you dropping these, Deebo Samuel. This one's tough. Because he's not really playing at like a fire level right now. So the question becomes, does he fall to a good value in 2023 drafts? Does he fall into like the 4th round or something? A lot will depend on his finish. If he finishes really good in the playoffs, then people will not, they'll disregard the end season and say, hey, Deebo is fire in the playoffs. He's Deebo again. And he goes in the late 2nd to early 3rd round. If Deebo craps the bed on the way out of the playoffs, if he gets hurt again during the playoffs, is not utilized that much, is very inconsistent, maybe has one game. Let's say they go to the Super Bowl. He has one good game out of the entire lot of games that he plays. I think he could fall into the late 3rd, early 4th round. And for that reason, this might be one I don't rank. Because ADP will hinge on ADP, whether I would hit this button or not. I need a neutral button. This would be the neutral usage of a button. I just think that there's too much depends on ADP. But if he stayed, let me answer it this way: Deebo at late second round value, and Deebo in the 4th or 5th. So I'll answer it both ways if that makes sense. And that's all she wrote for this. So dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
We'll take a couple phone calls. This won't be the longest show in the world, but, it depends how the phone calls go. We might keep it going a little longer. We got 70 people in here. Punch that thumb up button on your way in the door. Your boy Smitty's here to answer your questions, so dial on into thy show. Thank you for all the good questions. You guys had a lot of good ones. I think that game's pretty fun. I'll be introducing a couple more games like that on the show that I think are very interactive. And I think people loved that last show we did it at the 7 p.m. show, and people had a blast with it. So I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. We'll do some more of that stuff. Yeah. Thoughts on Jordan Love if Aaron Rodgers leaves Green Bay?
Alert. Panic mode initiated.
I don't know that I love that, bro, at all. Is Ron Navy still in his mitten? Mittens ended already, but they still have the Underdog still has promo code Smitty. Underdog promo code Smitty. Link is pinned in the live chat. Underdog still has the what do they call it? Gauntlet. The gauntlets, but they're gonna close quick. So make sure you jump on a gauntlet now. Link is in the live chat. Draft a playoff team. You might not have much longer to draft. I believe they end tomorrow. I don't know what time tomorrow. Stuck in the middle button. Yeah, we'll definitely have something. I'll definitely have Will He Remain on Fire. Like right now I have Will He Remain on Fire. I have this right here.
Will he remain on fire, or will he be on the decline?
And so it might be more so, will he bounce back, or will he continue to, sit in the abyss of fantasy football? So I'll have a couple different versions of that. Smitty, you should do end of fantasy season awards, but with fun categories, not just MVP. Yeah, maybe I will do something like that. Vamp, thank you for the suggestion, and thank you for the super chat. To the moon.
To the moon.
My guy, appreciate you. Oh, is Ron still in the mitten, you're saying? I got what you're saying. He was in the top 230 where you finished, Ron. Ron, what was your ultimate rank when you finished, Ron, when it ended? What was your ultimate rank? And those ended in week 18 or week 17. But what did you end up finishing? What number out of the 230? But yeah, Ron, out of, I think it was, what do you say, 200,000 or was it 400,000? 200,000 people, Ron finished in the top 230. I love Drake London. Yep. Crappy. I had Higgins, Burrow, and Knox in the last game and got canceled. I ended up 169th. I wonder what you would have placed if you would have been in like the top 70 if you had Burrow, Higgins, and Knox. I know other people probably had Burrow, Higgins, and Knox too, which helped them, or which hampered them from rising up. But I bet you that was the last game. I bet you only like 30% of people had those players or something like that. You probably would have climbed into the top 100, I would imagine. That's crazy. Ron, did it have like it should have a projection, so you kind of know what you're projected to finish. That would be kind of cool. But that was insane. Ron did a great job. I'm hoping I'm hoping I win something for the community. I would love to hit one of those, man, and then organize some kind of like, ballroom in Vegas or something to have everybody come down and just eat pizza and wings and hang out, or something like that. That would be unbelievable. We'll try and smash it. Yeah, that'd be cool if that had a projection. But go play Underdog Fantasy. I joined so many of these. I don't know how many. I might have been close to maxing out, maybe. So many of these mitten drafts, and I did a lot of the gauntlets. Gauntlets, I think they have. Let's see how many gauntlets they have left. Gauntlet 2. There's still a lot left. In fact, let's go. I might go into a gauntlet. might go into a gauntlet. Let's put this on screen here. Promo code Smitty. Jump in there now. Click on it now. Click on the gauntlet right now. I'm going to jump into this one. Oh, just filled. Doesn't matter if you could draft in this one, you could draft in the other one. I'm drafting from the one spot. This is a gauntlet. The prizes are a little bit bigger. So if you click on the information icon at the top, first place gets 200,000, second place gets 75,000, third place gets 25,000. Promo code Smitty gets you match up to $100 bonus, dollar for dollar on your first deposit. So if you deposit 100, they'll give you 100. If you deposit 50, they'll give you 50. You deposit 10, they'll give you 10. But these drafts right now are only $25 to jump into. And you start one RB right here. One RB, one flex, one QB, 2 wide receiver / tight ends, and you have 5 bench spots. And you're drafting for the entirety of the playoffs, so you have to win wild card weekend. So if you have all Kansas City Chiefs, it's the best team in the world. You have Chiefs and Eagles, you have everybody, but you can't win wild card weekend. You're out of it. I kind of hate drafting from this spot. Let's go with Josh Allen, I guess. I got a lot of Burrow. Kind of feel like Mahomes. I just don't like the fact that Mahomes isn't playing all the way through. So I'd rather bank on that the Bills go from wild card weekend all the way through than trying to piece together a wild card winning team with Mahomes sitting out the first round. So I kind of like I kind of don't like that one pick. I feel like it usually leaves me in a position where I'm drafting counterintuitive to a team that can go all the way together. I'm drafting, a Higgins or something. Then Higgins and Josh Allen conflict at some point where they can't both go to the Super Bowl. But I don't know. As long as I draft from the NFC in a way that makes sense, then so here's the big board. So it went Josh Allen, McCaffrey, Patrick Mahomes. Madden predicts Bills, Eagles, Super Bowl with the Eagles winning by 1. That's crazy. I mean, not crazy bad, just crazy cool. So Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. Jump in there. Jump in there. Okay, let me put this on screen here. Phone lines are open while I do this if you want to dial in. So I got Joseph Cigar Smoking Burrow going number 5. Jamar Chase going number 6. You rarely can get Burrow and Chase together anymore. Hurts and Jalen, Hurts and Mahomes going 4 and 3. Kelsey, Diggs obviously are going to be atop my list. A.J. Brown, Debo Samuel, Austin Eckler for Wild Card Weekend. I don't know how many games Austin Eckler is going to make it to, though, but maybe they win 2 games, It's possible. Or maybe they win 1 game, I mean. Tough to say. What's up, Ron? What's up, Ron?
Hey.
All right, I'm almost up here.
Try to go for a Bills-Philly combo.
Yeah.
So you have at least like three Bills, 2 Philly, a combination of 5. Because if they make it, you'll have your 5 players for the end.
I might have to go Debo. I might have to go Debo. Because I have a feeling I don't really want to take. I mean, I could take Devontae Smith, and then I'd be left like trying to get Miles Sanders or whatever. I almost rather have Debo and Debo
you
just
don't
went.
Need Miles Sanders.
Debo just went. Okay.
Go ahead and take Deontay.
Oh, I got AJ Brown.
No.
I got AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. They both fell.
Oh, okay. Well, good. You only need 2. Now get you some Bills.
Yeah, I'm a little afraid of not getting, like, I went A.J. Brown, do I go Devontae Smith, or do I take Austin Eckler to get that wild card action?
Devontae Smith.
Or Eckler?
Well,
Too late. Timed out. All right, I was running out of time. I went Devontae Smith. I'm going to go ahead and just stack as many. I mean, that's a really good team to take all the way. I understand I'm not going to have those Eagle players in the first round, but at least if the Bills do face off against the Eagles, I am literally going to get so many points there. So I just gotta. I'm gonna get my Godwin and Joe Burrow. I'm sorry, my Godwin and Mike Evans combination later, hopefully.
Right.
Yeah, I like that's gonna be good.
Yeah, that's what I was doing in the mitten 4. My last ones, I was stacking a lot of Bills and Philly, because if those 2 make it, I wanted to make it to where I would have 5 players, and I made sure. So you want to draft like Cook or Singletary as one of your running backs, just so you have a running back to fill into a place. I wouldn't do Sanders. I'd do because both, and I would take Cook over Singletary.
I like Cook and Sanders. Part of me wants to take both of them if they both fall, but
you get to use Cook. Sanders, you don't get to use them in the bye week.
Yeah, but
you just need one running back to go in there.
I got back to backs. So okay, so players left. Miles Sanders, Ayuk's there. Barkley's available for the wild card game. Again, Godwin's going to be there at running back. It's Miles Sanders, Pollard, Dalvin Cook, Barkley, Singletary, James Cook, Elliott, Etienne, Pacheco. Pacheco's interesting, but I do want to try and stack. I think I'm going to go Miles Sanders and Barkley.
Okay, you can go that way, but I would rather go.
What do you guys think in the chat?
The other way. I'd rather go James Cook and Barkley. Because you get to use them both for 4 games. Possible 4 games. I mean, you can use Cook for 4 games.
Yeah, I hear you. The only thing that's making me, I just feel like Sanders has. I think I'm going to get out of wild card weekend. I believe Barkley will help me do that, and so maybe I'm going to be able to get the most out of both of that combination. So far I've got Josh Allen, Miles Sanders, Barkley, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith.
Okay,
it's pretty good.
Yeah, I would have done James Cook instead, but that's okay. It's your decision.
Yeah, I think it's arguable. I think definitely an arguable thing. Rashad White. Okay, so hopefully Godwin falls.
I don't need a couple.
I don't think
still
he
need
will.
At least one more bill.
Yeah. I don't think Godwin will fall. Mike Evans might not fall. Kadarius Toney's interesting. Tyreek Hill I like for wild card weekend.
If you get a chance, pick up Knox then. Knox or McKenzie.
Yeah, that could be good. Tyler Boyd just went. I'm going to cue Brady up just in case. James Cook is still there. Mike Evans just went. Son of a.
All right.
Son of a.
You can one-off.
Goddard's available. Knox is available. James Cook is still there.
I would take Knox so you have at least 2 bills.
Yeah, and James Cook is still there. Pacheco is there. I like Pacheco a lot.
Oh, James Cook is. Well, you don't need another running back. That'd be a waste.
Well, because
you can take him, but
I guess I'm not. If the Eagles don't make it all the way, then I'm not winning anyway. But maybe that's my flex, though. You know. Oh,
you
God.
need one quarterback. You need just one quarter. Josh Allen should take you the whole way. He can play all.
Yeah,
4 games. You don't even need another.
I know that they project more points for you when you have because the probability of a bad game. If okay. Let's see here. Wide receiver, I got Knox available, but I'm on deck. Tyreek Hill, I like a lot. Kadarius Toney, I like a lot. It just went Justin Herbert, so I'm on the clock with back-to-backs. I mean, James Cook is there. I mean, he could technically, like, if Barkley's knocked out, James Cook and Sanders could both be my flexes, or one could be my flex. You know what I mean? So I don't think
it's. I like Knox, but yeah, I like Cook too. I like Cook in the other one, but
I'll go Knox. I'll go Knox. And, okay, so here's my team. I've got Josh Allen, Miles Sanders, Saquon Barkley, James Cook, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dawson Knox.
There you go.
That's
now
the
good. Rest you can one off the rest to good solid players like Kirk or even DK or some of those other players that you can one off.
Yeah. It's a pretty good squad.
Christian Kirk would be good if you think that they're going to win, or you can go the other way and Keenan Allen's probably already gone, huh?
Keenan Allen, I don't know. I do like Pacheco a lot too, but did he go? I think he might have went. Pacheco's I think gone. I like Rashad White a little bit because I'm banking. Tom Brady just went that. I don't need Tom Brady.
You already got 3 running backs.
Yeah.
You don't want to go 4 running backs. That's crazy.
Whoa! I just exited. Hold on. Okay.
Need to get your receivers, dude.
I like Toney.
Build your receivers.
I'm going to get Tyreek Hill. He's going to fall. That's going to be really good for Wild Card Weekend. Should I get Tyreek Hill and Waddle?
No.
Why?
You want to try to get some that they have a chance to advance.
Yeah, but but again, after drafting those 2, I drafted 2 Eagle players who are on a bye week 1. I'm really worried about Wild Card Weekend, so I have to get 2 guys that are going to explode.
Right. And who do you think is going to explode? Do you think?
So Tyreek Hill.
With that quarterback, wouldn't you think that somebody like Christian Kirk would explode? Has a bigger chance to explode, or?
I think Waddle.
DK better chance to explode than considering the quarterback that Miami's going to trot out there. I don't know. Go with your gut.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it with these receivers. I'm going to go Waddle, and I'm just going to take the chance that that Bridgewater gets out there or something, which he still could play. But Tyreek Hill, Waddle. And then I've got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith on a bye. I needed 2 wide receivers. So I got Knox, Tyreek Hill, Waddle. I got Barkley. Got Miles Sanders on a bye. I got Barkley and James Cook. I got Josh Allen. I still need somebody else. I like the squad, though.
Who else is left?
DK's there. Zay will be there. That's why I passed, because Zay was going to potentially be there downstream a little bit.
Or Osborne.
You what?
Or KJ Osborne. He just had he's good too.
Oh, McKenzie.
Yeah, but he's look at his status. He didn't even practice today.
Yeah, but I'm gonna be using him later.
You need them. You're set going with the players that you got for going through. It's just.
Maybe I should go Zay.
Who's gonna? Zay Jones probably has a better chance to advance than
DK
any of them.
Zay. DK Zay. I'm gonna go Zay. I think Zay could play 2 games. DK's not playing 2 games.
Probably not.
Let's go Zay. 204, baby. 204. They gave Ron Stewart 265 projected points, but they gave me the second most. This is a squad. I like it. Josh Allen, Miles Sanders, Saquon Barkley, James Cook, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dawson Knox, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Zay Jones. And for anybody that's new to this, it's not that there were better players that I passed on. Like when you're drafting a Devontae Smith over a wide receiver, like even like JJ in an example, if you think the Vikings are going to lose the first round, JJ will only help you 1 week. Whereas Devontae Smith, if you believe the Eagles are going to the Super Bowl, that's the whole point. You need to have a team that can not only win Wild Card Weekend, which I hope Barkley, Josh Allen, Tyreek Hill, Waddle, Zay, and Dawson Knox can do, and James Cook. But you need to be able to, after you win that first week, be able to continue to advance with players still on the board. So this particular team is geared toward a Buffalo Bill Eagle Super Bowl. And if it's not the Buffalo Bills and Eagles, I'm not winning, So that's what it is. Yeah, no, I know the projected points are always got me low, and I could care less. But it's weird to see them rank my team high for a change. It actually got me worried. Ron Stewart,
don't worry.
Yeah,
be happy.
Be happy. There you go.
No, it's a killer team, dude.
I like it. Dropping it like it's
That's
hot.
The type. Now, what I did, and like some of my, the $5 one, I didn't do the one that you just did, but like the $5 one, I did. This was like last week. I did. Like you went Waddle and Tyreek Hill. I went with a lot of Kirk and Zay Jones, and mixed it with. Like ETN and Eckler, because both of those teams, one of them's gonna go, one of them's gonna win the game, and so
yeah,
I'd match the players up that way.
Yeah. Who do you think? Let me see real quickly. Who do you think makes it out of the wild card games? You obviously have Buffalo beating Miami. You have obviously Cincinnati beating Baltimore, right?
Yep.
Do you have Jacksonville or the Chargers winning that game?
I'm saying Jacksonville, but that game could go either way. It could be a high-scoring game, and a lot of I hear a lot of people are predicting the Chargers, but I like Jacksonville.
Yeah.
They're going to have to use ETN because the Chargers are susceptible to the run, but if they use ETN right, I think Jacksonville.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Jacksonville. I got Jacksonville winning. Electro doesn't like that. I have San Francisco beating Seattle. I'm sure you do too. I have Minnesota beating the Giants. I know you do too because you love Minnesota. And I have Tampa Bay beating. You what?
That game scares me, though. They didn't play that long ago, and it took Joseph a 61-yard kick to win it at the end. So that game could very well be a toss-up. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants
Minnesota
won.
feels
I don't
like
want them to win.
Minnesota feels like a paper tiger to me.
But the Giants could pull up the upset over there, I think.
Yeah, Minnesota feels like a
I
paper
want
tiger.
Minnesota to win, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants win.
Do you have Tampa or Dallas? I got Tampa.
That's another hard one. They're playing in Tampa. Yeah, I can't go against Brady.
Thank you, Rockout. Appreciate you. Rockout, I saw you called in. You can call in again if you want. 34-24 Dallas over Tampa, says Eddie. Jags feel like they have the same energy as the Bengals last year. Potentially. I think they're a little bit more shaky. But, I mean, the Bengals were at times last year. But, yeah, it's KC or the Bengals. That's the tough one for me. I don't really question anything else on my left side of my AFC side of the bracket. I mean, Chargers could beat Jacksonville, but I just feel like Jacksonville, they just feel stronger. I just don't think Herbert's having a good year. and I don't know that it changes. Mike Williams is now out. I don't think it changes for Herbert. So I think Jacksonville wins that game. My only dilemma, and I'm not saying I'm going to get it right. It's always you think you have it right, and then it's always different. But KC Cincinnati, I struggle with that one. I'm going with my heart, but I do feel like KC is going to be a really, really tough. It's going to be really tough. I know Mahomes has Burrow's got Mahomes' number, but those things change. But I have Burrow. I have Burrow going all the way. What's up, Rockout?
What's happening?
Rockout, do you have Jacksonville or the Chargers, bro?
Chargers by 3.
Chargers by 3?
Yeah.
Okay. You got Tampa Bay, or do you have Dallas?
Tampa.
Cool. Minnesota or the Giants?
That one's tough. Probably the Giants. I think Minnesota's kind of I think they kind of faking.
Yeah, they just feel like they could get knocked off round 1. Everybody's disappointed. It's like, I don't know. That's a tough one. That's a real tough game. I think those two teams, and the Chargers and Jacksonville Jaguars, those are the 4 teams that I feel like they all barely should be in the playoffs. But Jacksonville's, they who said it earlier, the Bengal vibe. I mean, it's possible. They just, they start firing on all cylinders right at the right time. It's possible. KC versus the Bills.
I'm still mad at the NFL with this whole thing. See what they did? They totally messed up the rankings because actually what it should be, if Buffalo would have got the number 1 seed, you'd have Buffalo playing Jacksonville and KC having to play Cincinnati, and we should have had Buffalo Cincinnati AFC Championship game, not a Bills KC or a KC Cincinnati final.
Yeah,
the NFL totally messed this whole thing up.
I agree.
Yep.
Vamp says, Smitty, does Seattle have a chance? I mean, yeah, they have a chance in the weather. It's raining in San Francisco, and excuse me, and that could be a slippery, no pun intended, situation. I think the weather is the only shot, though, but that weather could throw a monkey wrench into it. Purdy's inexperience, thrown in the rain, but maybe it clears up. I don't know. But that's the only shot I think that the Seahawks have. They just don't have enough They don't have enough firepower, and the defense is just too good. I think Geno's been playing really well. I give him that, but I don't think he can go up against the Niner defense, man. It's got to be the weather situation. It's got to be Shanahan taking his foot off the gas. The weather screwing him up.
Can't run on them.
Yeah, I mean,
can you imagine if that actually happens, though?
I know.
That would mean that Seattle would play Philly in the next round. So they'd have to they play the number 2 and then the number 1 seed, and then it'd be Minnesota and Tampa Bay. If Minnesota makes it through, then they play Tampa Bay. Oh, that would be wild.
That'd be great. I'm not like a Niner fan at all. I know a lot of people think I am because I go on Niner shows a lot, but that's because my friends are Niner content creators, and but I'm not a Niner fan. Like, I'm not rooting for the Niners to win. I'm rooting for chaos, baby. That's what I love.
Right.
I mean, I want my brackets to win. I want my playoff stuff to win. So, I do have a lot of Debo and Niner players in my Underdog playoff team. So, I guess ultimately I am rooting for the Niners, I guess. But I am rooting for chaos. I'm rooting for crazy fun playoff experience. We'll see.
Yeah, would have been nice if the Lions got in there.
Yeah, and they fought so hard. They deserved to get in. We had that poor follower, our subscriber watching. That's when I was doing this right here, I put it on screen. They go, Smitty, don't you forget to put the Lions on. They won their way into the playoffs, and we're like, no. We're like, no, they didn't. they won a game to knock Green Bay out, but that did not. A lot of people thought that was a win and you're in situation for Detroit. It was not.
Nope.
But poor Detroit, it was a little weird. It's almost a little bit like that's, a rival. It was they wanted to win that game, but like it's almost like it was almost felt like mean spirited. They were so pumped at the end. It's like you just crushed this other team's hopes and dreams, and you have no playoff aspirations. You have no ability to go to the playoffs, and here you are destroying these other people across from you from going, and you get nothing else out of it but destroying their hopes and dreams. It just did anybody else feel that way? It just felt real cold. Felt real cold on the field.
Yeah, but that's great for a divisional game like that. So you like to see that stuff in the divisional game, the rivalry game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, you're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Who are we talking to?
Is it me right now?
Yes, you right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, all right. I'm not prepared for this because I've been trying to do this, but all right. Thank you, Smitty, for everything, first of all.
Yeah, what's your name, bro?
Foremost, thank you.
What's your name?
It's Casey.
Casey.
It's Casey.
What can I help you with,
I'm
Casey?
from New England, Mass. I just want to thank you for everything you've done for my fantasy team and just the knowledge and just the cheer and joy you bring on to this show. I literally look forward to this show pretty much every single day.
I appreciate that, man. That's the biggest compliment.
Yeah. Thank you. Like, the things you do, it's amazing.
Appreciate it.
But the question I had was because I'm in a keeper league, and I already asked you this a few times. So I can keep one drafted player and then move
Casey,
down to.
Casey, hold on 1 second. Before you get to that, I want to make everybody answer this question that calls in. So, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So I've got the
Yeah.
Raiders, the Dolphins, the Jets, and other on this side of the board. I've got Brady, A-Rod, Lamar. Tell me what you think's going to happen. If you think Brady retires, stays where he's at, Aaron Rodgers retires, stays where he's at, or goes to one of these teams, and where does Lamar end up? Make your predictions. Go.
Me?
Yep.
I don't think Brady's retiring, especially just me being a New England fan and just, I don't know, just maybe my personal bias on that. But I think he has that prove-it mentality, especially like you had mentioned earlier. After this year, it's like everyone's kind of thinking he's on the downslope, but
Where's
he
he
still
go?
has it. I'm not going to like this, but I could see the Jets.
Okay.
I could see it.
Where's
I
A-Rod
could
go?
see that.
A-Rod.
I'm thinking he either reunites with Devontae or just calls it quits.
A-Rod quits?
But I'm thinking, I think he's calling quits. If it's not going to see Devontae, I think it's quits.
Okay. So A-Rod,
Because
okay.
they're really pushing that Jordan Love. Yeah, I can see that.
Lamar?
And then Lamar, he wants his money. And I don't think the Ravens are going to give it to him. They're going to franchise tag him, and I don't think it's going to go well. So I think he's down to there.
Where does he go? Where does he get traded? Miami, Las Vegas?
I can see Miami.
Okay, there you have it.
Miami more than Las Vegas. I can see Miami, yeah.
All right, bro, ask your question now.
All right. Thank you. So I'm in a keeper league. We get to keep two players, one drafted and one waiver. The waiver goes in the 10th, but my options pretty much were Kenneth Walker at 10, and then Brees Hall obviously got hurt. someone dropped him and I picked him up and put him on IR and held him, and he would go for in the 11th one. But I'm debating because my other waiver wire pickup was Joe Burrow. No one drafted Joe, and I picked him up the first week, but I had Josh Allen, and I took Allen in the third. So that's also kind of like, it's kind of like two questions on, should I go Hall and Walker as my keepers, or should I take Josh Allen, move him up into the first pick, and then take Joe Burrow at the 10th pick, because it's also possible that we might change that same league into a 2 QB league.
Oh,
so I kind of want to know like the variable options.
Can you
that.
find out that answer to that before you make your decision?
It's hard, Miley. It's hard. Like I've been trying to press to find out like if that's the thing, and my league mates are just like, oh, we'll wait once the season gets closer. But some people are for it, some are against it.
I mean,
I just want to get ahead of the curve on
that's
that.
impossible to give you good advice without knowing that, because if it's a 2 QB league and you get Burrow for an 11th round pick and you get to keep Josh Allen in the first round, then you're going to win the league. But if you end up making that move and they say no to 2 QB league, then you get kind of screwed out of that Hall and Walker value.
Yeah, because as soon as that's what's funny how you said that, I could win the league. I brought up that I might do that, and then they're like, "Oh, never mind, man."
Yeah,
pretty much just
what they'll do?
Backing out.
If you end up having to make your decision and letting one go, then they might circle back and be like, "Let's make it a 2 QB league." But if you end up keeping both, they won't. I mean, you get to keep two keepers. So Walker in the 10th, Hall in the 11th is fantastic. Odds are you're probably going to work these guys over. Joe Burrow was a free agent in your league. This is a grandma league. You'll probably be able to steal one of the top 4 or 5 quarterbacks away earlier than you should. But I mean, they need to, bro. You need to. Yeah, but let me just also say this, bro. There's no way you decide your keepers without knowing the answer to that question. Like, can you, can you find out if it's a 2 QB league or not? Because your question, your decision should depend on that. There's no way they can make that decision later. They got to make that earlier. But maybe I keep Burrow in the 11th though. That's such good value.
And so, what would you do? Would you do, because it's only one drafted player and then one free agent player.
Oh,
so let's say if we don't do the 2 QB, because it's an 8-man league too, by the way.
Yeah, it sounds.
I don't know if that's important. So it's 8-man. So if we
usually
don't
means
do the 2 QB, would it be better to do the Walker and the Hall 10-11?
No.
Or would it be better to do Walker at 10 and then Burrow at 11?
If it's a 2 QB
Walker
league,
is the drafted player.
If it's a 2 QB league, no matter what, it's the 2 quarterbacks.
Okay. All right.
Unless you know you got the number 1 overall pick, then you're going to be able to
draft
draft Josh.
Might get the 1. I might choose 1 because I was in the co-championship debacle.
Okay, so if you get the number 1 overall pick and you let Josh Allen fall back into the draft, you can draft him back and you can keep another player.
Yeah.
So you just mind screw everybody if you do that. So if you get you need to have these answers though before you get into all this because it determines everything.
That's what I've been prying. I've been prying as soon as the season ended, just asking around, trying to see.
Once you have the answers, come back though. But I mean, in theory, if you could get the 1 pick, bro, and you throw Josh Allen back out there. And even better, you could say to yourself, like, if this turns into a 2 QB league and you throw both of your quarterbacks back, if you at least get one of the top 2 picks, you'll have Hall and Walker and you're guaranteed, Burrow or Josh Allen. But I would find out the answer. If you can you keep Walker and Hall? You can keep both of them.
So the thing is, Walker, I drafted him in
Okay.
actually 12th, but he goes down 2 because it moves up 2 spots when you draft. So
Okay.
he would go 10, and then the free agent who you pick up is supposed to go 10th. But because
Okay.
Walker, if I made him my keeper,
Yeah.
the player would just go to the 11th instead
Yeah,
of 10th.
we need answers
follow
before
me.
I can give you any advice on this one, but find
Okay.
out and then come back and then we'll help you out.
And then one more, sorry.
Yeah.
And then this ties into Bijan too, because it's an 8-man league, and I'm not trying to say like I should go like, well, I am, because that's how I kind of pretty much got to the championship. Thanks to you, all credits to you. Even with Swift, Javante going down for me, I had Kamara, traded Pierce, and who'd you tell me? You told me to trade away Pierce and Lennon for Devontae. I remember that. You said that was an easy one. It was like, if you like winning, go do that.
Yeah.
And it brought me the championship. So I thank you for that, because I was
Attaboy.
stressing about that.
Nice job.
But if an option I was thinking too, because obviously I have to have all my ducks in a row, so I'm going to come back and ask. But I'm really thinking, just the way the hype on Bijan is right now and the way things are building up, if I do go Walker and Brees, because I can start 4 RBs, I'm thinking of taking Bijan in the first. Even though it's an 8-man, I think I could get away with it, but I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, he's a
I
top.
don't want to risk it.
He's a top 8 pick in redrafting. You're talking about a 2-keeper league that's like starting off in the 3rd round. So
Yeah, exactly.
easy. I'd take him number 1 overall in this format with 24 players taken in off the board.
Okay.
Easily number 1 overall. Unless it's a 2 QB league, and then you got to get quarterback.
Exactly. Then you do the quarterback.
Yeah.
Okay.
Find out the answers and come back, bro. Appreciate you calling in.
I thank you so much, Smitty, for everything. Thank you.
Thank you, pal.
Thank you. You're a man. The GOAT. Thank you.
Later. What do you guys got? Ron and Rockout, you guys got anything to say on that?
I would like to wait and let it unfold and then make a decision after that.
Yeah. I love the idea of Burrow in the 11th round. Like, that's a steal. Even in a 1 QB league. The only thing is, in an 8-man grandma league, part of me thinks that he's going to get Burrow back really easily. I don't think these guys know what they're doing. But if it's a 2 QB league, you've got to grab both. You got to keep both quarterbacks. There's not even a question. He would clean up with Josh Allen and as a 1st-round keeper even, and then Joe Burrow in the 11th. That'd be insane. Klondike says, love the late streams. Appreciate you, Klondike. Yeah, probably not going to go much longer. We've gone an hour and a half already. You guys got anything else you want to add before I let you jump?
Yeah.
Rock out first.
If Javante is like the same situation as J.K., are we totally fading him?
Look, if Javante or Breece Hall are struggling with their recovery, you're not going to see me just blindly be like, I loved them last year. It's going to be a void season. My guess is that Breece Hall, and we're already hearing that he's ahead of schedule, but my guess is that because of how young he is, not that Javante's that much older or anything, but because Breece came in as a rookie, tore it during his rookie year, he's the earliest ACL tear that I can think of from a top 1 to 5 running back. Like, everyone in here watching knows that I had Breece Hall pretty much as my RB1 from midseason on. Like, he would, if I was drafting over again in a midseason draft, I would want Breece Hall as my number 1 running back. He was so on that track. And I think we haven't really seen a rookie running back of that caliber tear their ACL during their rookie season. So he's going to have as long as he doesn't have a setback or anything, probably the most likely chance to have a quick, really good recovery where he looks to form at some point during the season. He'll be a little slow starting. He won't feel like himself for half of the season. But I think, going into his second year, he'll say, I didn't quite have everything back, but I'm back this year, second year back from ACL. But I think he'll have a really good year. I don't want to get ahead, put the cart before the horse yet.
Yeah.
But I mean, I have a gut feeling we're going to hear nothing but good things for Breece Hall, and that he's not just way ahead of schedule. He's ready for camp. He's ready for. Barkley wasn't ready to even. He barely had pads on like a week before the season started, so we had no idea. Oh, Vamp, I'm sorry, you sent a super chat. We had no idea what Barkley was going to look like. We had no idea what JK was going to look like, and what I can tell you is that when you're not ready for even those early stages of impact and playing on the field and cutting hard 100%. Barkley didn't even know really if he could cut walking into week one. Those are disaster scenarios because all they're going to do is have swelling and be behind the 8 ball the entire season. So Breece Hall needs to be so ahead of schedule that it's like nothing ever even happened when week one comes for him. And if that's the case, I'm going to be all aboard. Javonte, I don't know. I don't know one way or the other yet. I feel like Breece will have that good recovery. I don't know yet on Javonte. Javonte had a little bit more severe injury.
He had 2 injuries.
If Brady leaves Tampa, is that a good landing spot for Aaron Rodgers or Lamar? It's not one of the top 3, but it certainly is one of the other, and you could categorize it as like a 5th or 6th, maybe best landing spot for a quarterback potentially. But I don't think it's anywhere near Vegas, Miami, or the Jets. I mean, there's 2 good wide receivers there, but that team isn't quite as put together or ready, I think, to win. The Jets are, I don't care what anybody says. The Jets are the Jets. I could care less what people say about that. This team's ready. This team's ready. It just needs a quarterback. It needs an elite quarterback. They got the defense. They got the running game. They got the wide receivers. Miami, they're ready. They're ready. Las Vegas, they're in shambles, but the talent's there. They're the least likely of the 3 to, I think, win a Super Bowl if they just get an elite player, but they certainly could. Derek Carr was not the answer, so I think Vegas could be up to par for that. But I think the Bucks without Tom Brady, I don't know. They're like they're like 4th or 5th or 6th in the pecking order for me.
Yeah.
All right, rock out. Appreciate you, my guy.
One more question.
Yeah.
We've been about Jameson Williams for the Lions upcoming season.
I like him a lot. I think not to put a damper on St. Brown, but he's capable of being the number 1 wide receiver in Detroit. I think people need to understand that he's got the talent for that. I think St. Brown does too. I think they're going to fight to be the number 1 wide receiver. We've seen rookie wide receivers like Jameson Williams come out and then never stay healthy, and then St. Brown's just going to continue to be the guy. Or he could literally become a top 7 or 8 wide receiver. Like, he's got the ability.
Yep.
His acceleration is unmatched, man. Like, literally, like, out of current NFL players, I can't think of anybody but Tyreek Hill, maybe a couple other players, none on the top of my head, that have the acceleration he has. Like, where literally he'll run, he'll stutter, and then when he takes off, the D-back or defender is literally, like, you see it looks almost like a video game. It's crazy. Now, I don't know if he'll have that acceleration fully back entering this year. I think he could. But I really like him. I really like him a lot. But I think one of St. Brown or Jameson Williams will be a top 12 wide receiver for, years. Kind of hoping it's St. Brown, but I love Jameson Williams just the same. I really do. All right, rock out. Appreciate you, man.
All right. See you.
Later, pal. Ron, what else you got?
Yeah,
Rough?
hey,
Oh,
are
I
you
thought maybe
gonna
fell asleep.
you gonna do Zoom calls this weekend for the playoffs?
Yeah, so after the fantasy season ends, it goes down to 1 Zoom call a Sunday, just because without the without the games, there's not the same need, but I think it's cool to still do the calls every Sunday, but just one. So it'll be at what would be halftime of the morning games. So that would be what 2:30? No.
Yeah, it'd be cool. It'd be cool if you could fit in one Saturday and one Sunday.
Yeah, we tried that before. That's really hard to do consistently. So we just knocked it down to one call on Sundays during the off season. This a little easier to do without missing it constantly. Without the games, it's harder to structure it. But it's hard enough to have one exact time. But during Sundays, it's easier with the season going on. But it'll be at let's see, the game started at 11 right now, so 12:30, 2:30. Yeah, 2:30 every Sunday.
Okay.
And we can move that time. If the majority of people want to move the time, we can move the time. But if anybody wants to be a part of those Zoom calls, all you got to do is go to the blue join button on the YouTube homepage or anywhere you see YouTube exclusive membership for $9.99 a month. You can be a part of these calls. We do a Zoom call every single Sunday. During the season, we do 2 Zoom calls every single Sunday. You can have your mic off. You don't have to talk. You can just listen like a podcast essentially, but we go over all kinds of stuff. During the season, there's a lot more to break down, so we do 2 calls. During the off season, we talk about whatever you guys want. Trades. Hey, can you do a video on this, Smitty? Like, people do requests in there. And then on top of the Zoom calls, anybody in the $9.99 plan, on top of supporting the channel, getting a green name, similar to the $1.99 people who have a green name, the emojis, and you're supporting the channel, the $9.99 people will get early access to Moonmen and Bull predictions that I drop on the channel. I'll do a quick little 1 or 2 minute video saying, hey, you exclusive member, guess who's going to be a Moonman tomorrow on the show? Don't tell anybody. Here it is. A little bit about it, but wait for the show, for more detail. So the next Moonman will be released to those $9.99 people. And that should happen today, tomorrow, the next day. I'm not sure, but it's coming. There's another one coming soon. Actually, maybe tomorrow. I've got a player I think I'm going to drop tomorrow, I think.
Player you're going to drop tomorrow?
Yeah, Moonman. Moonman, Ron. A Moonman.
Okay.
The Moon Men.
I hear you.
Dropping loads in outer space.
The payload in outer space, Ron.
I didn't realize that Saturday game for the Chargers and Jaguars is going to be so late.
Yeah, maybe I'll do a surprise Zoom call on Saturday. I'll try, but does anybody have any stories about talking to their wives about the Moon Men? Like, has anybody had to explain that to their wife? The wives are. I'm just curious if anybody in the chat has a story, but I have it's the funniest thing whenever I've got to explain that to somebody. Like, I was talking to Miss Smitty. I'm like, I got to drop a Moon Man, and I'm making a moon. And she's just like trying to explain to her friend. Her friend was on the phone or something, overheard, me talking. Like, what's he doing? Oh, he's making a Moon Man video. It's like the funniest thing in the world. Just my job cracks me up. Just love to know if anybody's had to explain to their wives what sometimes people come in here and they're like, yeah, my wife's like, what are you watching? What is this in the background that is influencing you? The Moon Man, honey. It's the Moon Man. We like the Moon Men. They might
funny.
graduate to Mars Men, honey. And by the way, I've cleared off the Mars Men.
He's on a shuttle to Mars. Mars Men.
Mars Men is completely blank. Your guess is as good as mine, but
Loads
most likely,
dropping and spinning aimlessly in space.
we're grabbing.
Dropping loads in outer.
Most likely, we're grabbing. Obviously, a Moon Man to go to the Mars mission.
Right.
Cody says, I'm in the man cave whenever I'm here. My kids know all about the Moon Men. Says Peanut Butter and Waivers. But Cody says he's in his man cave. That's hilarious.
Yeah, did you make up a Moon Man shirt?
No, I need to. Maybe I could put faces on it too. I think that would be cool. We could take
you need a
marker.
Shirt.
I could heat seal an X over their face, when they fail. But the problem is we did that with Dalton Schultz. We were so mad at him, and then he kind of came back around, and we had to take the X off his name. So I don't know what we'd do if I ended up like following through with that, putting a red X on his face. I won my league.
It's just a modifier.
Yeah, I won my league with Jacobs. How do you feel? I mean, depends on where he goes, bro. Depends on where he goes. Depends on he's going to get paid. He's going to get a deal somewhere. I don't know if he wants to stay put. If he's gonna test the market if he doesn't get the right deal. But he might be interested in staying. You don't know his situation. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel about. I like him enough. I just don't know where. If you got to draft him in the first round, I don't know that I'm going to be on board. I don't know that I'm going to be totally against it, but I don't know that I'm going to be like ecstatic about first round value for Jacobs. I don't know. We'll have to see. I think he's earned it.
It almost feels Jacobs should take the spot of like where Kamara would go.
Maybe. Sam says you need a Moonmen Advent calendar. That would be pretty good. I mean, I mean, we could kind of pull him out of the little doors on screen here, but Hurts is playing. Says Wick. Yep, of course he is. All right, Ron. Appreciate you. Anything else? Any last final words?
No, I think that's it. I think you. I think your Bills and Phillies stack in that. I mean, that's the big one. That's the $25 one. So that's a really good team to go into that with. I think you could do really well with that team.
I'm hoping Barkley. Like I need an explosion out of like Tyreek Hill, Barkley, and Josh Allen. I think to win though, but that's possible. Barkley could have a day. Hopefully he does.
Yeah, he should. He should have a pretty good. He had a good game first time they played Minnesota. So
yeah.
He should have a good game. I mean, he'll probably get some good receiving work there in that game too. So,
all right, Ron. We'll see you tomorrow, my friend.
All righty, have a good one, Smitty. Later, chat.
Ron Navy. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Appreciate you all. Thank you for watching. Until next time, until tomorrow, I'll see you all at 7 p.m. Eastern. Wick has been a member for 1 month, says go Birds. Attaboy. Appreciate you, Wick. You make a show dedicated to Moon Men. We can all walk around. Yeah, I mean, I do a video every time we drop one, special video. So people that have the $9.99 plan on the YouTube exclusive membership, you're going to be given a video that's going to, be a push alert to you or whatever. You're just going to see it like a normal video, and no one else will that isn't a $9.99 exclusive member, and you're going to see the Moon Man probably tomorrow. I will see you all. I'm live whenever news breaks. I'm also live Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, and I'm also live almost every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday at midnight Eastern. We're live all the time. When are we not live? Subscribe if you're new. Hit that thumb up button. We only have 36 thumbs up. Come on, people. Your boy Smitty's out here at midnight my time, 2 a.m. Eastern. We can punch that thumb up button and make the final 61 people running out the door hit the thumb up button for your boy. I will see you all later. Appreciate you. On that, well, how should we end the show tonight? Let's go with the little pancake stack. I know disappointed you in week number 18 or week 17. I understand. But pancake stack it is.
The stack above all stacks. It's time to drop the pancake emojis in the live chat.
The tripod, also likened to pyramids in ancient Egypt, are constructed using Burrow or Hertz, Chase or a JB Hull or Walker.
People are getting burrowed left and right, and people are going to remember it.
Get burrowed.